Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In our last video, we discussed active and passive voice. We talked about the rules for changing a sentence from active into passive voice. We talked about the transitive and intransitive verb, and we talked about the subject and object. We also talked about what kind of sentences can be changed into passive voice. Then we finally came to simple present tense. We talked about the simple present, and then we talked about how to change a sentence in the simple present tense into passive voice. Today we are going to talk about active and passive in simple present tense, but this time the negative and interrogative sentences. Now this is the structure of a negative sentence in simple present. You can see the subject is followed by do not or does not, followed by the verb in the present form, then followed by the object. Only this kind of sentence can be changed into passive voice. Now this is the structure for the active voice sentence in simple present. Now to change this sentence into passive voice, you have to make the same changes that we discussed in our last video. You have to make the object of the sentence the subject. You have to change this subject into the object in the passive voice, put by before the object, change the verb form into the past participle, and replace do or does with is, am, are, because is, am, are the forms of be that are placed before the past participle in simple present tense. So this object will become the subject, then it will be followed by is, am, are, then followed by not, followed by the past participle of the verb, then followed by plus object. This is the passive structure. This is the passive structure of a negative sentence in simple present tense. Let's take an example. You see the subject is he, then does not, right is the present form of the verb, and a letter is the object. Now if you want to change this sentence into passive voice, make this subject, this object, the subject. A letter. Since a letter is a singular noun, it will be followed by is. This is the passive voice of this sentence. Remember, this do and does depend on the subject. If the subject is I, we, you, they, or plural noun, it will be followed by do. If the subject is he, she, it, or singular noun, it will be followed by does. Similarly, this is, am, are depend on the subject. If the subject is I, it will be followed by am. If the subject is he, she, it, or singular noun, it will be followed by is. If the subject is we, you, they, or plural noun, it will be followed by are. Now let's talk about the interrogative sentences. Look at this. This is the structure of an interrogative sentence in simple present tense in active voice. Remember, this is the structure of an active sentence. Do and does are followed by the subject, followed by the verb in the present form, followed by the object and the question mark. Now to change this sentence or this structure into passive, you have to make this object the subject here. You have to change the present form of the verb into the past participle, and then you have to change this subject into the object and place by before it. Replace do or does with is, am, are. Do they play cricket? Now the object is cricket, so it will become the subject in passive. Now cricket is singular, so we'll put is before it. Now change this play into the past participle, that is played, place by, and then the object. Remember, this object will be this subject, and this is they, so they'll become the objective form of they is them, and then the question mark. So do they play cricket in active becomes is cricket played by them in passive. Let's take another example. Does he speak English and Urdu? In this sentence, the object is English and Urdu. So these two languages are the object. So they'll become the subject. Now this sentence, does he speak English and Urdu, will become are English and Urdu spoken by him. Why are? Because English and Urdu are the names of two languages. So English and Urdu plural will be considered plural, and we have to put are before English and Urdu. This is the structure of the passive voice of an interrogative sentence in simple present tense.